Glad you could join us today here on Level M. This is episode 32. 32 Diecast haul. This one, I am happy to report, is very, very light on Hot Wheels. Very, very heavy on Matchbox and some other stuff, which is pretty good. Did pick up a couple of red editions. This is the 1986 Toyota van. Buddy picked up this for me. I have not had any luck getting red editions these days. So, just a casting that I collect. This guy looks pretty good in all of his red edition glory. Of course, it says red on the back. Just saying, it's a red edition. But other than that, just the regular Toyota van. Nothing fancy with that guy. We'll put him in our little stand in the back there. Yes, I finally got one of these. I finally got one of these. It went through about 3 different levels of trading for me to get this. The guy that had this wanted a specific item. I found another person with that item. They wanted something else. I had to go find something else. Anyways, able to acquire this finally. This has been quite elusive. Kind of like that, red Civic and the red Silverado. They came out last year. So I'm just super stoked to finally have this one. The LB Works Silhouette S15 red edition. So trying to keep up on all of these versions, make sure I have them all. So got that, guys. So I'm pretty happy about that. One looks pretty good. It's a pretty good one. All right, another Hot Wheels we have here. Yes, Ultra Hots. I did have to buy this kind of on a secondary market, I guess. I got it from a local swap meet. Paid $4 for it for this $9.35, but I was not going to find it hanging on the pegs because people are just buying them up. So you gotta play the scalper game with it. There is this particular mix on the back. Nothing fancy with there. I've seen most of these on the pegs, except for the Nissan Z and of course the Porsche. But now I have the Porsche, so I'm pretty happy about that. $9.35 with all the nice kind of electronic sparks, looking pretty cool on the front. Of course, 68 on the side. I think they should have done 75 on this, but I think this mix probably should have came out much earlier. I'm just saying they could have done, 75 for Porsche's 75th anniversary. So we'll put him in there with his wide stance. Also picked up a loose black wall. This is the Peugeot 205. Pretty sure it's a 205. This, the rally car, though, does have an opening hatch in the back. Got this loose. This thing is new. It's new condition. Super good. Good shape. Solid metal. This guy's a heavyweight for sure. Malaysia base on this particular one. Really like this one. This one will go in the race car display. Always looking for more rally cars. We don't get a whole lot of rally cars here in the U.S. All right, Autoworld. Yes, this is the 2023 release one. We've already covered that, but this is the version B. Finally found a vendor who had version B. So the version A of this one was like a teal blue. This one is glacier white, it says. This is a brand new casting for this year for Autoworld. This is your glacier white. Obviously looking fantastic. First generation 3000 GT. There is the plate. Does say twin turbo. The spoiler is a separate piece, which looks fantastic. This is a really nice white. Really nice white. Of course, Autoworld's quality and details and everything are just top notch. There is a two-tone interior in there. There is some red over black. So that looks pretty cool. Kind of hard to see in there, but it looks really good. See if we can get our hood open. Autoworld has like these ridiculous flush hoods. But there is your V6 down in there, 3-liter V6. Looking pretty good. Base deets, nothing fancy to look at on here. Sometimes we look at the manufacturer dates on there. See that guy at the very top? Manufactured November 30th of last year. So these things have been in process for quite some time. Do have quite a few more from the Autoworld. This one is absolutely bonkers. 1979 Lincoln Continental Mark V. This is one of the most ridiculous castings ever. I absolutely love this casting to death. Dark red poly. This one does have a white vinyl top, which is absolutely just super, super cool. Awesome contrast for those two colors. One of the most ridiculous things about this model is the wheels. They're just beyond ridiculous. They look so good. It looks so good. That wheel would look ugly on any car pretty much on the planet Earth except for this car. And this is an absolute boat. This is a massive, massive car. And of course, the real life one is massive as well. Details look really, really good. Plate is ultra tiny on this ridiculously large car. 1979. It's got a kind of a matte kind of texture to the vinyl top, which is really, really cool. Nice, cool details on that. There are the prints for the front. Get that to focus. Do apologize. There we go. It says Lincoln on there. Looks fantastic. This hood does open, and it's a giant, giant hood. This one actually opened up pretty good. A very, very underpowered V8. Just a huge, huge inefficient motor. But that's just kind of how it was in the 70s. But it looks really, really good. Quite a few pieces in there. Of course, black painted around the surround in there, which looks really, really good. Definitely like that one a lot. It's such a boat. Such a huge, huge car. We're going to put that right above. I don't even know if it'll fit in here. Ooh. The car is so big, it don't fit. It's so big, it don't fit. All right, next one up, Toyota Supra. Of course, they make a big deal. This is the first time they're doing the UK-style hood scoop on the top, which is fine. This particular one says, sold from 93 to 98, around 11,300 units of the Supra was sold in the U.S. This is in quick silver FX. This is a ridiculous silver. You guys know, if you are, proponents of the channel, which hopefully most of you are. Appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys know we love the color silver here on the channel. This one is no doubt a winner for sure. Look how metallic it is. Just ridiculously metallic. Looks super, super good. Of course, this is based on the UK version, so they do have a front-mounted plate there. UK-style plate looks pretty good. You have a matching one in the back, of course. Larger bumper area to accommodate a much larger plate than a standard size plate. Well, standard size, I guess, for the US. So they do have different bumpers, US versus UK spec, I guess you can call them. Just another good one from Autoworld. Just another good Supra. Of course, this guy has opening hood as well. Pretty happy I've been able to get the hoods open thus far. It'll open all that well. That one looks pretty good in there. Just can't get the hood open. Just can't get that hood open any further, but I assure you, it looks really, really good in there. Sort of kind of see down in there. Sort of kind of see that 2JZ down in there. We'll throw our Supra up there. All right, another sports car in that same mix. This is the C8. Autoworld makes the best 1/64 scale C8 in the biz. Even better than Mini GTs, I do think, in my opinion. This one in rapid blue. Looking pretty good. Not going to touch that like brown and goldish one they did a couple releases ago, but it's pretty close. This rapid blue looks fantastic. Black stripes on it. Really, really good details on this guy. The wheels look fantastic. Details look fantastic. Prints are good. There does have some plate detail on this one. Says rapid blue, which is kind of cool. This one does have an opening top, opening hatch, which opens up very big and very nice. There is a ton of three-dimensional space in there. A little bit of extra blue print in there from the topper. Not that big a deal. Very three-dimensional engine though down in there. Printed up, looks really good. Of course, there is the trunk. You actually put some golf clubs in there. No joke. No joke. That one looks pretty good. Kind of steals the show up there with the blue. All right, last one that we have in the mix, of course, it is Mighty Minivans. This is the second 1984 Dodge Caravan. First one was in a kind of a champagne kind of color. This one in garnet pearl coat. It's too bad that Autoworld didn't make this with a sliding opening door. That would have been just beyond ridiculous. But I understand. Of course, it does have the wood paneling on the side, the quad stacked headlights, the very, very first original Dodge Caravan, the first one ever. It says Caravan on the back as well. Really, really good details on the back. Prints look fantastic. Really, really good. Does have a nice little rack on the top. Some cargo stuff. Just like the rest of Autoworld models, it does have an opening hood. See that ridiculously crappy 2.2 liter 4-cylinder down in there. Super, super underpowered. Just a dog of a motor. But I think this one switched to fuel injection, at least, which helped a little bit from the carbureted ones. It may have still been carbureted. Maybe the first run of them may have still been carbureted. So we'll throw him up there. All right, moving on to some Matchbox stuff. Yes, we got plenty of Matchbox. You guys already saw me crack this guy open, but I did pick up the one with the cargo. So I'll just show that to you guys real quick. If you guys watched the video, see there is cargo in the back. The original one I picked up did not have any cargo on it, so fortunate enough to pick up the interior variation. So kind of difficult because those Volkswagen sets are just not hitting correctly. All right, we got some older Matchbox here. This is, of course, the Peterbilt tanker for the milk truck. This is still on card. Card's a little fudged up, but it's still on the card. But the card is, blisters all cracked up, as you can see. It's absolutely annihilated, so really don't feel bad about pulling this one out. So go ahead and pull out our Peterbilt. Now, I picked this guy up because he has a variation. The one that I have currently in the collection has print on the side, which this one does not have. So, pretty happy to have this variation here with no print on it. See, there's no print on both sides. It's not like it's an error or anything. That's a factory-released model. That Peterbilt is one of the better models to come out of the back-in-the-day Matchbox. I do have a bunch of cut ones. Couldn't tell you why the cards are cut. Probably to take the UPCs off to get some type of promotion. Hot Wheels did the same thing. Used to have the barcodes on the top of the cards. Now all the barcodes are on the bottom. This is the Chevy Corvette. This is the Stingray. It's 70s. This is not the T-top. This is the hardtop. This one is a variation on what I currently have in my collection right now. So I do have this exact deco, but mine has a red base, red painted base. This one has an unpainted base, so still has the Lesney base. So I'm pretty happy to get a new variation on this one. This is about as old as the collection gets. Stuff like this don't really go much older than transitional to late superfast. I usually don't get anything older than that, but sometimes I do. One of those that's a little bit older. This is the Horse Van. This one is pretty cool because I don't have this one at all. Didn't have this one at all. Originally sold at Target for $1.09, nearly 35 plus years ago. Just a really, 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 really long time ago. But this one looks pretty cool. Just a color I didn't have. This one also comes with horses in the back. See those horses in there? It does open on this side. There are a couple of horses inside, ready to go. They are together with a piece of plastic, so you'll have to break them off from the piece of plastic. You see that piece of plastic up there, so important to keep that intact. This is, of course, the Bedford Lesney base. Looks really, really good in this kind of metallic green with a cream plastic topper on the back. So that one is pretty cool. Some old school Matchbox thrown in the mix today. Let's see. I got one more older Matchbox. Then we're going to move to a little bit newer stuff. This one is a little bit of a bummer because this card is actually in really, really good shape. The blister is a little rough, just a little rough. There's a crack right here, but the card's in really good shape. But anyways, this is the Countach. Now, I do not have this variation. This is a variation on this particular release. So, I'll crack this guy open. This guy does have the older Superfast style wheel. The one in my collection currently does have the 8 dot wheels. So very, very cool variation. Couldn't tell you which one is rarer. I feel like the 8 dot wheel is probably a little bit rarer than this one. But who knows? If you guys watched me crack open those toothpaste the other day, this is the exact same casting as that Countach we looked at the other day. But you can tell the difference between some older Matchbox and, of course, the ridiculously ugly 90s Tyco era Matchbox, which led into the Mattel era Matchbox, which is this guy right here. So at least this one doesn't look too bad. This is a 2000 logo model. Didn't have this one with the 2000 logo. I don't really pursue the 2000 logos. I think it's kind of just ridiculous. When these things were new, these 2000 logos, these were hot. They were hot to complete these. They were almost like Supras for a while, just in the volume of how they were trading between collectors. But nowadays, the 2000 logos are just dollar cars. They're really nothing fancy. But there are a couple of rare ones in the mix. And some later production runs and stuff like that. Some of the models, you'll notice that the ones that don't have the logo have one style of print on it. And then the ones that do have the logo have like the same print, but it's a different style. Sometimes they were like sprayed on a different way, but it's the same deco. Just the way they were printed is different. But that guy is just for the logo. So I think what we'll do is maybe we'll put the two Lambos over cha. A couple more logo models. This one right here, this is the M4A3 Sherman tank. There is your logo on the back of the tank. Another one that I did not have the logo for. So basically the way it works is if I find this era of Matchbox, I will see if it's got a logo. If it has a logo, I'll see if I have the opposite or vice versa. Now this original one here, this is a good example of what I was just talking about. I'm putting up the one that's not a logo. You'll see that the prints, kind of the dirt splotches and whatnot on the sides, it's a bit different. It's not dramatic, but it is a little bit different. And that's just kind of the way it worked between the logos and the non-logos. I'm not really sure why they did that, but just the way it worked out. Another one here, this is the Mission Choppa. This particular casting did debut, or not debut, did come out in the 70th anniversary 5-pack for this year. It is the same model, the same basic casting, although it has been modified. This is the original version. So it does have the wings that fold out. These ones are a little bit. But then, of course, the tail section comes out a little bit to make it a little bit more proportionately sized. This original version also had this window, which was not fixed. So it could come out. Sometimes it just popped out. Sometimes you had to really get it out. But there's no interior on this helicopter or anything like that. And then there, of course, is your logo. Get that spin, maybe. There we go. A little bit of helicopter action, a little bit. All right, the last 2000 logo I got is this guy right here. This is the FedEx delivery truck. There are a few different versions of this particular truck. I do think there is this one. There's also one on the newer style card. There's a blue window variation, and then there's a clear window variation. I'm not sure if the 2000 logo also showed up on the clear window variation, but I know for a fact, obviously, it came on the blue one because we're looking at it right here. I did not have the logo on this one. Kind of a weird placement for it. I think it would have been a better placement to put it on the back, but just my opinion. But this is one of the more sought after older Matchboxes, the Econobox in FedEx Deco. It's Econoline, a Ford Econoline cab in the front there. We do have another logo model, but of course this was from the Hero City area. Yes, Matchbox tried to do the logos. So they did the logos in 2000. They didn't do the logos in 2001. In 2002, they did the 50th anniversary logos. So they tried to bring it back. Really wasn't having it. And then, of course, in 2003, they tried to carry it on and do logo models for Hero City. They were really struggling by this time with sales. And then, of course, you move into 2004 in the Ultra Heroes. And, of course, the rest is history at that point. This one is just the generic cement truck. It's a pretty beefy casting. Obviously, it has a rotating drum. No interior or anything like that. It does have an extra axle. Made in China. There is your logo on the front. The other one just doesn't have a logo on it, so it's just that logo on the window there. Now I picked up this one as well. This is the Earth Mover. This is the Fawn dump truck. This, obviously was a new casting in the Lesney era. And they still make this today, although they make it as the water hauler. I'm not sure if we'll see it as the dump truck again. But we've seen it relatively recently as the dump truck. But they use it as the water hauler. This one, though, for some reason, I don't have red with a silver dump on the back. Now, the dump is metal. So, metal body and the metal dump, which is something that they haven't done in a very long time. But this particular one is from early 97, maybe late 96 is where this one comes from. Like I said, I just didn't have the silver dump, so I'm not sure. There were some weird variations during this time, and they did some inversion of colors and stuff as well. This was in, they were transitioning from Tyco to Mattel during this era, so a lot of stuff was, I guess, up in the air, I would assume. I don't know. I was still pretty young at that time. But I didn't have this one with the silver back on it, so pretty stoked to have that one. I have ridiculous amount of Fawn dump trucks. It's just unbelievable. In case you guys didn't see my Instagram, of course, I got my Porsche 959, and no, I'm not going to crack this open, unfortunately. I wish I could crack it open, but I would need another one, and they are kind of expensive. So I do have that one. We'll just put that off to the side. And then we're going to transition into a couple more Porsches. Obviously, if you guys watched my Instagram, you'll see that I also picked up a couple of these trailers. Both have the Porsche 911 Turbo, and both have gliders on them. These are pretty sought-after pieces. These are definitely rarer pieces. The cards are in really, really good shape. But they are going into the collection. That means they are going to be cracked. And that's just the way it works. So take this guy off of there. We'll put this one out. Pull this other one out. This is the glider trailer. Of course, this one is very 90s, as we always talk about. From the Tyco into almost the Tyco era. This was not Tyco, but that's kind of where things were going. So the glider is assembled. So has spots for the wings on each side, and of course the glider that sits in the middle. This is your ridiculously bright neon pink glider. You just add the wings to each side. You just slide right into there. See if I can pick up the other one. Slow that guy into there. The wings are very, very thin. But there is your glider, which is quite large. Much, much larger than my hand. So that's super, super cool. Nothing else fancy with the trailer. It is a glider transport 1976. This one with a, ridiculously neon colored deco on it. It's cool too because you can put the glider in there, kind of how it's being assembled, which looks kind of cool. The top is just a hair yellowed. I mean, just a teeniest little bit from being perfectly clear, but that's fine. It's really not that big a deal. And of course, there is our 911 Turbo. It does say Porsche on the front. This is the casting that Matchbox based their reintroduction of the 80s Turbo, which just came out in Mattel Creations. This one made in Thailand. So open the doors up. It does have opening doors, which are kind of cool. Of course, left-hand drive. No reason for it to be a right-hand drive or nothing like that. Metal base looks pretty good. And of course, it just hooks right up to there with the tow hitch. And of course, it tows around just fine. So we'll just throw that right there in the middle. I do have another one. This one is a little bit kind of newer style, or older style, I should say. This one looks really, really good. This one is much more down to earth. Not so much out there with the color combination. So we'll pull these guys out. This one is not yellowed. You see the topper there is nice and clear. I had one of these as a kid. I got this from my stepfather way back in the day. This exact trailer, and I thought the glider was the coolest thing ever. Sometimes there we go. The topper is a little tough, So this glider just wants to fall right out of there. It's exactly the same as the other glider. There's no difference. There's no variations in the gliders themselves. So I'm just trying to get that situated back in there. So it doesn't snap in there. It just sits in there. So if you get it turned upside down, it's just going to pop right out of there. Just the way it works. See if I can get the wings to be a little bit further up. There we go. Get the glider back in there. Get our topper back on there. Just snaps in. There we go. Looks pretty good. There is our blue Porsche. That one looks really, really good. Giant Porsche symbol on the front. Just an enormously large Porsche symbol. But it looks cool. Tan interior on this one makes the details on the inside a little bit easier to see. This one, the doors don't open as wide as the other one, but still looks okay. Same black painted base. Still Thailand. Same, super fast slick, as I like to call them, the big fat ones, which look pretty good. So we'll throw that guy. Here we go. We'll move our Fawn dump truck. We'll get our Porsche hooked up. Get that guy over there. This guy over there. Over there. Over there. Get everybody on the screen and prevalent. So there you go. I almost forgot one. Maisto. This is the Chevy Blazer with a ski boat. I found this at the grocery store because you can't find this kind of Maisto stuff pretty much anywhere. But I found this at the grocery store and I was like, man, that's really cool. I'm going to have to pick that up. Now this is the exact same Blazer casting. That's, the dollar cars at the Adventure Force wheels that you find at Walmart. Struggling here. It's like really tight in there. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right. So there is our K5 Blazer. This guy does come with an interior now. The top doesn't come off or anything though. Matter of fact, the top is metal on this one, which is kind of cool. Pretty decent wheel on it. Of course, details look really good. Prints on the front. Some Casey style lights on the top. Kind of hard to see in there, but there is an interior in there. You can see the bench back here. Really dark windows. Says Chevrolet on the back. Tow hitch on there, which you could probably just unscrew and take the tow hitch off if you wanted to take the tow hitch off. Base Dietz made in China. And then this is a boat, which comes off the trailer. I'm not sure how new this is, where this came from, because I'm just not familiar. I don't get too much of this style of Maisto stuff here. But the trailer is metal, so that is pretty cool. The boat is completely plastic. That is a Maisto casting as well, so just say Maisto on there. Of course, made in China. It does have some boards on the side. It's actually a really good boat. The outboard works as well. Moves side to side. I'm pretty impressed. That's actually a really nice boat. It's a really nice boat. Besides it being just all plastic, it's actually really nice. And then it just slots into these little pins on the bottom. So there you go. Boom. So it ain't going anywhere. It's stuck on there. As far as on the Blazer, kind of hard to see. But it is perfectly level with the Blazer. Let's see here. I don't know if those Lambos are going to show up there, but we're going to put the Lambos up there anyways. So that we can get our Blazer on here. So it's actually quite level. Looks pretty good. So there you go. Now we're done. That is Diecast haul number 32. Glad we had a lot more Matchbox than anything else. And those Autoworlds are ridiculous. This guy is like one of my favorite 164 castings just ever. It's such a ridiculous casting. And I'm glad Autoworld did it. But anyways, let me know if you guys got a favorite. Let me know if you got anything in there. You're just like, man, that's cool. Or even if it sucks, tell me it sucks. I'll take your advice on it. But we're going to roll out, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. We're going to catch you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. LevelMDiecast saying peace.